Yo, what's up, guys? So recently, I've really been stepping into this whole thing of how we truly create our own reality and just understanding that everything's ultimately a projection of my own consciousness, like a certain part of it. And I had a pretty rough time last night because I tried an edible and it was, let's just say I underestimated it. I had a bad weed high, and because of that I was just like basically stuck to my thoughts. Like I literally just had to go lay down and like just bear through it until it was over. But um it was kind of good for me though, because it made me think deeper about some stuff that you know probably wouldn't have thought about. And one of the things I thought about was, well, if everything is a reflection of me and I'm basically actively manifesting all of this, I'm like, does that mean like I'm responsible for all of the fucked up shit going on in the world? Am I responsible for darkness? You know? I was just like, why? If I was God, like, why would I even create darkness and evil? And I was really trying to look at it from, like a genuine question, like, why? And I was like, maybe it was to like test my own self because I wouldn't be able to grow without a challenge, right? But still, some of the evil stuff going on, like, it didn't make sense. And I was like, shit, like, is there a part of my soul then that's like high key kind of evil that's manifesting all of the evil? I got really, I'm not gonna lie, like, that like kind of shook me. I came up with various explanations, and afterwards I had to remind myself that each explanation of what I just said is literally all valid. Like, afterwards I had to remind myself that every single possible explanation I could have made was valid, because there's literally parallel versions of existence. So there could be a version of existence where darkness and evil was created because God just wanted to test himself or herself, whatever. There could be an existence where darkness came first or something. Like, I don't know, like literally anything you can imagine. Like just there could, like, there's different whole ass sets of existence. I had to remind myself of that at the end of my bad high. But I was just kind of allowing myself to get lost in the sauce, just to observe my own self. And it's basically like the reason I'm making this video is just to remind you guys that there's literally infinite explanations, like literally, for why darkness exists and evilness. So like, when you start to really become enlightened and start viewing everything in your reality as a projection of yourself, don't focus on what has already happened in the past. Focus on where you're going to create. So like, I want to create a world that's love and light based, and I'm viewing that as like me stepping into my inner God ability, and not choosing to have that in my experience, in my soul, and thus the world will reflect that, and ultimately the universe, and so on and so forth. So focus on where you're going, focus on what you want to create in existence, including the parts of existence itself that you want or don't want to be included in your version of heaven. And yeah, and also just realize, like, it's literally infinite times infinite times infinite, there's nothing you can really do. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that song, it's just the way it is. You know, it's just the way it is, sadly. Because that's another thing. Like, I was spiraling on that bad weed high, saying, I want to end all darkness. I want to end all evil. I was like, I think I have a chance of doing it. I'll impede over the highest infinite verse and change it on an all level above Omniverse. I'll go above Omniverse level and end all evil and darkness. Because, you know, it's like that part of me. It's like I'm like very similar to like Tony Stark kind of from like the comics, where like I feel like the need to try to fix everything. And you know, I had to like battle that part of myself, because I'm like, where do you draw the line between knowing that you're God and you create it all versus like playing God in like a bad way? I'm also an Aquarius, so that's kind of why I have that. But you know, it's kind of like I just had to really accept, like, hey, even if I defeated all darkness and evil on an infinite scale, at the end of the day, no matter what, it's gonna be me and my soul's perception of existence. It's gonna be me and my soul's awareness of existence, which it's just a small part of the real existence. The real existence, my soul has probably still had realms that are uncharted to it, and therefore they would be unaffected. In other words, like, even if I did save everything and I ended all darkness and all of existence, no matter what I do, there's still gonna be, like, even if I saved the infinite verse that's above multiverse and omniverse, there's still gonna be infinite verses that are still gonna be doing their own thing regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's already done. This moment right here and right now is infinitely playing out. Crazy to think about. Because once you go above fifth dimension, space and time is just like one big blot. So everything's already done. Everything's already happened, happening, and will happen infinitely. And so I had this download from a version of one of my guides, I guess you could call her. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And she said, view existence like one room filled with infinite floors and levels, and that one room's already done. So it's kind of mind-boggling, but you know, that's where I'm at right now. I just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, that's where I'm at. Those are some things I'm still actively searching for and working through, and I know that I'll find the answer, but I think I kind of answered myself by making this. You know, there's going to be infinite verses no matter what. I think that's the answer, and that'll help me sleep at night without feeling the need to end all darkness and like be the hero of everything, you know? That way I can sip my tea in peace and enjoy the little things in life without feeling the need to play hero all the time, because that's like my toxic trait. So that's like my internal struggle, is like finding the balance between playing hero but also like relaxing and enjoying my own stuff, you know, enjoying my own experience, whether it's sipping tea or listening to some good music, you know. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Honestly, just making this video kind of helped me process a lot of my own thoughts too, so I appreciate you guys. We're all one, remember that. Love you all. Peace out.